It was a crisp Saturday morning when Dr. Maya Thompson decided to take a rare break from her grueling schedule at the hospital. Maya, a 34-year-old pediatric surgeon, rarely had time for herself. Her work saving children's lives was her passion, but it left little room for personal indulgences. That morning, she chose to visit Crest Lane Boutique, a high-end store she had passed many times but never entered. Dressed in casual clothes and her signature curls pulled into a bun, Maya stepped into the boutique, enjoying the soft scent of lavender wafting through the air. The store, with its polished wooden floors and minimalist decor, was a sanctuary for shoppers, but beneath its elegant surface lay unspoken prejudices. Maya's entry was quiet, yet it seemed to draw immediate attention. Behind the counter, a young sales clerk, Lily, glanced at her and exchanged a look with the store manager, Charles Darnell. Charles, a sharp-featured man with graying temples, was known for his strict approach to protecting the store's image. Maya browsed through the racks, admiring a sleek navy dress that caught her eye. She held it up to her chest, smiling as she imagined wearing it to a charity gala. As she continued shopping, she bumped into a display stand, causing a few scarves to tumble to the ground. "Oh no, I'm so sorry," Maya exclaimed, quickly gathering the scarves and neatly placing them back. From across the room, Charles and Lily observed her. Charles leaned over to Lily and muttered, "Watch her." That looked intentional. Maya, unaware of their growing suspicion, moved to the fitting rooms to try on the dress. Inside, she caught her reflection in the mirror and smiled faintly. She rarely indulged herself, but today felt like a small act of self-care. When Maya emerged from the fitting room, she carried the dress and a scarf she intended to purchase. But as she approached the counter, Charles intercepted her. "Ma'am, I need to check your bag," he said, his tone sharp. Maya froze, taken aback. "Excuse me. We've had issues with shoplifting recently," Charles continued, ignoring her protests. "I haven't stolen anything," Maya said firmly, her voice steady but laced with disbelief. "You can't just accuse me like this." Charles gestured to the scarf display. "We saw you tampering with the merchandise." Maya's face flushed with anger. "I accidentally knocked those scarves over, and I put them back." By now, a small crowd of customers had gathered, their whispers buzzing like static. Charles demanded to see her bag, and Maya reluctantly handed it over. As he rifled through her belongings, pulling out her wallet and phone, the crowd grew silent. Finally, he pulled out her hospital ID badge. "Dr. Maya Thompson," he read aloud, his voice faltering slightly. "You're a doctor?" Maya snatched her belongings back. "Yes, I am. And I demand an apology for this baseless humiliation." Before Charles could respond, a middle-aged woman in a tailored suit stepped forward. "I saw everything," she said firmly. "This is unacceptable." The woman introduced herself as Karen Hayes, a civil rights attorney. "You can't treat people like this based on assumptions," she told Charles, her voice cold and authoritative. Charles stammered, trying to defend his actions. "I was just doing my job." Karen raised an eyebrow. "Your job is to discriminate against paying customers." As the confrontation escalated, a young boy, no older than 12, was caught trying to sneak out of the store with a stolen bracelet. A store security guard grabbed him, causing a stir among the onlookers. "Caught red-handed," the guard muttered, holding up the bracelet. Karen turned back to Charles. "Looks like you were targeting the wrong person." Again. Charles's face turned beet red. The crowd's murmurs grew louder, with many expressing their outrage at how Maya had been treated. The boutique's owner, an elderly woman named Eleanor Crest, arrived after being called about the incident. She was appalled by what had happened. "Charles," she said sternly, "this isn't the first time I've received complaints about your behavior. You're fired." Charles tried to protest, but Eleanor silenced him with a glare. Turning to Maya, she apologized profusely. "This is not how we treat our customers. Please allow me to make amends." Maya declined any compensation but accepted Eleanor's promise to implement anti-bias training for her staff. The story didn't end there. Another customer had recorded the confrontation and posted it online, where it quickly went viral. The video sparked a nationwide conversation about racial profiling and implicit bias. Maya was thrust into the spotlight, invited to speak on talk shows and panels about her experience. While she was initially reluctant, She recognized the importance of using her voice. "I'm not the only one this has happened to," she said during an interview. "But I hope my story can inspire change." Months later, the boutique underwent a transformation. Eleanor partnered with local organizations to promote diversity and inclusion. Karen Hayes, the attorney who had stood up for Maya, became a key advisor in these efforts. As for Charles, he struggled to find work. His actions had tarnished his reputation, and he was forced to confront the consequences of his biases. Maya returned to her work at the hospital, her life seemingly back to normal. But the experience stayed with her, a stark reminder of the prejudice that still exists. And yet, she remained hopeful. Her ordeal had sparked change not just in one boutique, but in the broader conversation about how we treat one another.